trip, turn that bitch up.
Welcome back to the Art House Podcast. And today I have a lovely guest with me. She is wonderful. She is beautiful. She is amazing. So I want to introduce to y'all Teresa.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Yes. So I really just want to take the time today to really just learn about you, learn about your story, where you came from, and just learn about what you do.
Okay. All right. I got a long story, so you get your popcorn.
Hey, yeah, I'm ready.
So where do I begin? Just anywhere, pick a timeline and
Yeah,
go.
yeah, just where you're from.
All right. So I was born in Gary, Indiana, where Michael Jackson is from.
Mhm.
But I moved to Atlanta when I was 4. So I've been in Atlanta 41 years. So I do consider myself to be a Georgia peach. Atlanta is all I know. When we moved down here, we moved to the Bluff, like on the west side.
Oh boy. Like,
Yeah. So
mm,
it's a little bit of a hood boogie in here.
yeah.
Right. And then from when we left the Bluff, we ended up moving to Clayton County, and that's where I went to middle school and high school and graduated, and went to Clayton State University. And so Atlanta is home to me. I feel
Mhm,
like, although, unfortunately, my parents got divorced, but I feel like it
mhm,
was divine alignment because Atlanta did bring out my creative flair and my creative niche, and then
mhm.
also my leadership skills as well. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much how I got started here in Atlanta.
Okay. All right. So, what did you go to school for?
Lord, I went to school initially. No,
Mhm.
well, let me say this first. I didn't even want to go to college. Like, that just was not my thing. I've
Yeah.
never been interested in going to college. I've
Mhm,
always had this like entrepreneur flair or this like hustler flair, but I didn't
mhm.
really know how to like gel it all together.
Yeah.
And so when I turned 20, I got pregnant. I had a
Mhm.
son who is now
Mhm.
24. And the only thing I could think was like, who's gonna buy him his Jordans?
Right.
Like, who's gonna buy his
Right.
shoes? And so
Mhm,
I ended up going to college. My mom passed away, I think maybe a year or so before I went to college.
mhm,
And initially, I was going to go to school for education to teach students with unique learning profiles, or basically students that have
mhm,
learning disabilities. And I did that for a little while.
mhm.
But I found that it was too many boxes to check to get your certification to be a teacher. And
Yeah.
I just already didn't want to do it. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting my bachelor's in psychology.
Oh
And
wow.
fell in love with the mind. I've
Mhm,
always, as a little girl, let me say this too. So I have the gift of hearing and the gift of seeing the unseen world. So what is
mhm.
it? I see dead people, like
Right.
on that vibe, right?
Yes.
And so I've always been so very fascinated with astrology. I've always been
Mhm,
into the stars and the moon and the planets. And so
mhm,
when I began to study psychology, it just lined up with everything that I feel was innately in me. And
mhm,
so ended up getting my master's degree in applied developmental psychology. And so
mhm,
initially, I
mhm.
thought I was going to do more like research stuff and kind of
Yeah.
help bridge the gap between what research was proven to be effective and what
Mhm,
organizations were actually doing. But
mhm.
somehow I got guided into counseling.
Wow.
And since then, I've been able to start my own business and kind of incorporate
Mhm.
my spiritual practices and mental health into one. And then also
Okay.
my creative projects as well.
Okay. Period. So talk a little bit more about your business.
So my business is
Good.
called it's called
Mhm,
Acacia Enterprise.
mhm,
It's a nonprofit that I started in 2012 under the name Same Difference Atlanta. And
mhm,
initially we started out just kind of teaching people that we're all the same behind cultural lines, behind gender, behind identity,
mhm,
whatever we identify as, we're literally the same. But it was really hard for me to move the business forward because it was ran solely by volunteers. And I'm like,
mhm.
okay, I couldn't keep consistent volunteers, and I felt
Yeah.
like I wasn't doing a good job.
Mhm,
So during this time too, I was writing my first book. And so let me
Mhm.
say this. I was writing before I ever had a pen and a pencil in my hand. My mom would say, like, I would stare out the window and just make up
Mhm.
songs and make up stories. And so writing has always just followed me everywhere that I went. So
Mhm.
starting the business, I'm getting ready to publish my first book, but the business is just not doing crap. So I
Yeah.
hit the pause button. And also, let me say, too, we had a community garden where we would donate foods to families in need. And it was really hard
Mhm.
to keep all of that going and
Yeah.
do it well.
Mhm.
So put a pause on the business, put the book out, got the book
Mhm.
going,
Mhm.
and then I came back to the business. And since then, I've created, you can say it's a multi-level or multi-dimensional business where
Mhm.
I really do focus on mental health and mental wellness,
Mhm.
incorporated spirituality, but then also helping people reach their highest potential with a
Mhm.
creative flair.
Oh, I like
It's
that.
like, yeah,
That is serious.
it's a lot that we do, but we do
Yeah.
it.
Yes, I definitely like that. So, what is the book about?
So my very first book, and I wish I had it. Oh, I don't have it by me. The
Mhm.
very first book is a book for late elementary and early middle school students. It's called
Mhm.
David's Having Distractions. And
Okay.
basically, it's a book to celebrate neurodiversity.
Mhm.
While I was getting my degree, I was doing my internship at a private school, and like
Mhm.
every single child had some sort of label. And some of them needed it. Some of the students had schizophrenia, some with social
Mhm.
phobia, but a majority of the population was ADHD. And I'm working with them, and I'm like, ain't no fucking wrong with you.
Yeah.
You just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Or it was a case where, oh, this child just doesn't learn that way. Let
Mhm.
me switch the way that I'm teaching to
Yeah.
help the child. And so I started looking up neurodiversity and all of these things. And I wanted to write a book that would celebrate their minds and
Mhm.
not kind of say, oh, this is what we have and this is how we need to help ourselves. It's like, no, I wanted to
Yeah.
create a character
Yeah.
that was very sassy, very
Mhm.
sarcastic, and a character that hated school. And so
Mhm.
David was born, based on my experiences with that school. And then also with my own son. He had learning disabilities. He struggled all through school. He
Mhm.
hated school.
Oh, yes.
And
I heard it
I
too.
wanted to give them a mascot. I'm like, let
Yeah.
me let me write something that tell y'all side of the story, right? And
Yeah.
so that's how David that having distractions was born.
That is so beautiful. That is
Yeah.
really beautiful. Like you get to be able, you literally tell the story of other kids' experiences. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Um, so you went to school and
Hmm.
then you wrote your first book, and then you also had within your own business, right? You said you took a pause on that.
Yeah.
So have you bounced back into the business or
So my life is like this, right?
yeah.
So I took a pause, I wrote the
Mhm.
book, and I was in a 10-year relationship, and that
Mhm.
relationship ended, and my heart was broken. Even though I ended the relationship, heart
Mhm.
was completely in shambles.
Yeah.
And when it ended, I had a lot of time by myself, which I've never had before, just me, myself, and I. My son was there, but
Yeah.
he was just separate.
Mhm.
And so it's like all of my spiritual gifts begin to heighten. It's
Mhm.
like something very weird happened where the voices got louder, the visions got brighter,
Mhm.
the meditations went deeper.
Yeah.
And once I started that spiritual journey, I kind of just took a break from life.
Mhm.
And that period lasted about 12 years, and it's still ongoing, but it
Mhm.
was heavy for about 12 years. And when I say I studied and practiced everything from Christianity to Buddhism to voodoo, like I
Mhm.
went through all of them. I started out hard body Christianity,
Mhm.
grew up in a church. I'm one of them people to this day. If
Mhm.
I'm in church and I hear something that I like, I'm one of the people that's running around screaming.
Oh.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I don't know why I do it, but it's
Mhm.
like that's how I show reverence to the most high. It's just I
Yeah.
can't control that energy.
Yeah.
And so I was hard body Christian, going to church Wednesday, Fridays, Sundays. And my my spirit began to evolve, and I couldn't hold myself back for the sake of being afraid of hell. So
Yeah.
I allowed myself to begin to explore. And so anyway, got into mentalism, got into
Mhm.
Buddhism, started studying African practices, and
Mhm.
found out I don't like none of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I don't like none of that
Wow.
shit. So, but what I discovered was that
Mhm.
it's the truth behind all of it.
Mhm.
And I really embraced the truth behind all of the teachings, and
Yeah.
then also finding where my spiritual strength is. And my
Mhm.
spiritual strength is in my heart, it's in my mind, and I love the elements. And so I took time to study like how to work with earth, wind, fire, water, how to work with those elements, how to listen to the unseen, how to know when it's an angel or a demon or
Mhm.
ancestor or something inside of me, my own consciousness. And so
Yeah.
I did that for a while, and I took that very seriously, and I still do.
Mhm.
And so when it was time to come out of it, it was almost like I had to learn how to walk again,
Yeah.
because I had been separated and in like this spiritual bubble for so long.
Yeah.
And let me say, spiritual stuff ain't nothing to play with.
It's not. It is not.
When I tell you, I had to face some really
Yes.
nasty people that do really wicked things. I
Yeah.
had to face some very wicked and nasty entities
Yes.
that I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta learn how to fight you off. And so,
Yeah.
coming out of that, I had to relearn trust, like how to
Yeah.
trust people again, how to
Mhm.
trust life again. I had to learn like what foods were good for me, what foods are not good for me.
Mhm.
I just had to relearn how to live. And so my business wasn't at the forefront, but I was
Mhm.
starting to push it again. I was starting to say, okay,
Mhm.
I understand why you went through all of those things. And now it's time to make some money, because there's
I
no
know.
point of having all of this knowledge and your ass can buy a 99-cent fry.
Yeah. Yes.
And I continue to write too. Go ahead. Go
Mhm.
ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you're fine. So, what is really amazing, what really stands out is really when you talk about being by yourself, because I think society as a whole wants to be a companion with somebody before they really start to get to learn themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you jump from that relationship to going into that spiritual journey, because I went through that, and that spiritual journey was literally the best thing that I could have done. Like, I learned a whole lot about myself. I learned
Mm-hmm.
a lot about my spiritual gifts. I also learned about, spaces not to be around,
Yes.
just learn about protecting my energy, protecting my space. My peace was very important, more than anything. Um, yeah, it was a lot that I learned within that moment. But then, like you said, when you come out of it, it's kind of like you're having to learn life on a whole new level. You're having to look at people differently. You're having to explore things differently. But then you're having to really truly be who you're destined to be
Yeah.
while walking in your purpose. And then you get to be able to teach people that.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a beautiful thing. And um, do you work a regular 9 to 5, or have you ran from that?
So initially I did go back to
Mhm.
work and work a 9 to 5, which I loved.
Mhm.
So although like it's kind of hard for some people to balance corporate when you dive into the spiritual. It's not really that hard for me. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this is what I could do, but I just I'm naturally rebellious. I have a
Yeah.
natural rebellious spirit.
Mhm.
Even my natal chart is like, girl, you was born to challenge the status quo.
That's right.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I found myself at work after a few years. And let me
Mhm.
say, I had a good salary. I was the
Mhm.
department head. Like I was
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
But my rebellious nature was like, Reese, do it your way.
Yeah.
Reese, you need to do this on your own. Reese, leave. And so eventually I left. And that was 2021. I
Mhm.
left corporate and I have not gone back. I work mostly as a contractor, like a
Mhm.
1099 with different agencies, whether I'm doing mental health and
Mhm.
it's a contract with an agency who works with DFACS or who works with the state, working with children and families in foster care. Right now I have, well, I'm under HIPAA, so I can't say, but I'm with
Mhm.
another organization that work with women and children who have been in human trafficking.
Mhm.
And they also have like a creative flair. So they go through this therapeutic process. And at the end of the therapeutic process, we create a film, which is such a
Mhm.
beautiful fucking
That
thing.
is so
It's so
beautiful.
powerful. I wish I could
Yeah.
talk more about it, but because of HIPAA, I can't.
Mhm.
So I'll just pick up contracts on top of my own clientele. So I have
Mhm.
people who come to me for either just strictly mental health therapy, or they come to get their energy reading, or a
Mhm.
mixture of both.
Mhm.
Most clients get a mixture of both. And then I have 1, 2, 3 books that I sell. This is one here,
Okay.
one in the
Yep.
bag. I gotta
Mhm.
keep it bumping
Yep.
up against the wall. This is
Mhm.
an audio book, and then I have 2 other books. And how else do I make my money? Oh, and I sell herbs, natural remedies. I
Okay.
have a certification, 2 certifications in natural remedies. And so I do a little bit of everything to bring in the almighty dollar.
Yeah, I know that's right. Yes, yes. So going back to telling, oh my God, that is so beautiful. Like telling people stories and making films about them. I know you can't talk about them that much because of HIPAA, but because essentially this is what I'm doing with this company is
Mhm.
creating art, performing arts in various different ways from people's real life
Mhm.
stories. Um, how did you become infatuated with that?
I've always been artsy fartsy,
Hmm.
always been a storyteller.
Yes.
And being somebody that sees the unseen, I'm a
Mhm.
visionary too. So it's almost like I always simultaneously have all of this creative stuff going in my head.
Mhm.
And when I got to this book here, fourth book, it's an audio book.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not written nor is it told like a regular story. When
Mhm.
people heard it, they was like, girl, this needs to be animated or this needs to be at the movies. I could see the characters coming to life. And
Mhm.
I published this. I published it in 2020,
Mhm.
but I didn't start promoting it until, excuse me, I think 2022 or no, 2024, I
Mhm.
think. And so when people heard it and they was like,
Mhm.
girl, this bill I did, let me back up. So I did 3 focus groups for it just so I can kind of see what people thought about it. And
Mhm.
in each group, they were like, this can be a film. This should
Mhm.
be a movie. And that got like the movie film bug on me. Like, okay, well, if you can write this and turn it into a movie, which I haven't done yet, but I'm trying to,
Mhm.
why can't you take other projects and turn them into films? And that's what got me going on the film side of things.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
That
And
is
on
beautiful.
top of being in elementary school, I was always in a school play. I was always
Mhm.
doing something theatrical.
Yes.
Always.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. My mama had every week she had somewhere to go because I was always a part of something.
Yes.
Every week. So, but what advice can you give people? Well, first, I want to start off with your process of writing.
Okay.
So, what does that process look like for you?
Um, I'm more of what, you know, professional people would call a pantser,
Hmm.
where I write by the seat of my pants. I wish that I could tell y'all, sit down, storyboard, and all of that. No, my writing is very organic. I
Hmm.
sit down and sometimes I'll have a concept,
Hmm.
but I allow my higher self or I'll allow the divine to come in and take over. I've always done that, especially like with this last book. So I'm gonna give you a little story.
Hmm.
Me and my homegirl, this book is called The Adventures of Seiki and TT at the Golden River. So
Hmm.
me and my homegirl, we would go to the river in Stone Mountain every Saturday. And we
Hmm.
would sit in the water and we would just talk cash money shit about men. We would just talk, talk, talk all day.
Wow, yes.
And then so like one day I was like, girl, I'm gonna write a book about this. So
Hmm.
I go home and I'm thinking I'm getting ready to write a book about 2 women on a journey trying to find the love of their life and da 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 da. But
Hmm.
I sit down And literally, this magical, mystical, enchanted story about two girls who go on a trip to meet a talking golden river. And
Mhm.
along the way, they have to face the unknown and face themselves. I had no clue that a book about love and grown women was going to end up being a book written for families. When I say
Mhm.
no clue, but because I allow myself to write organically and because I allow my conscious mind or my ego to take a back seat and let
Mhm.
something else comes in,
Mhm.
I don't really have a process. The
Wow.
only thing I can say is that when you start writing,
Mhm.
don't judge it. Just write.
Mhm.
Just write. And when you go back and edit, you can always go and fill in the blanks. You can always go and build more characters. You can always round things out. Just sit down and write it and let it be. That's the best advice I could give anyone. Just do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That is, oh, yes, that is like so true.
Yeah.
Because I remember I used to write, I still do write. I just
Hmm.
write a little bit less, but I'm trying to be more consistent with it. But I remember when I wrote my first short film. This
Hmm.
one, yeah, I didn't even think it was going to be a short film. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just do this for fun and see how it turns out." So I ended up writing it and finishing it within like I wrote it overnight. So I started at like midnight and then I ended at like 6 o'clock in the morning because I could not stop writing.
What?
Yeah. And I finished with it and I read it back and I was like, this is actually really damn good. And I was like, me, a writer? Because I did not like writing in school at all. But
Hmm.
something just told me that night, just write that, because I was going through a lot of stuff at that time, and something just told me just to write. Don't worry about it. Don't judge it. Just write. So after I got done writing it, I was like, you know what? I should turn it into a short film. So I was in college at that time. I literally got all of my roommates and their girlfriends to be a part of the short film. And literally, as I'm like getting ready in the next room, all of them are talking about the story, and all of them are like, "Oh my god, this is so good!" And they're talking about their characters. So, all of that is to say, when it comes from within you, and when you allow yourself to be free, your work is always going to be inspirational. It's always going to be impactful.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Speaking of, I wrote my first short film last year. I haven't
yeah.
shot it yet, but I wrote it last year. Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely shoot it. Definitely shoot it, capture every single moment. And just, I mean, that experience for me, it taught me about who I was and it allowed me to really just be true to myself and say, you know what? I have the right to tell my story.
Yes.
And I think that is such a beautiful thing that really everybody should learn in this world is just really to learn how to tell their story and just be okay with learning that you have the right to tell your story, no matter if somebody agrees with it or disagrees with it. This is your time to shine.
Yep.
So,
That's true.
yeah. So, I guess that kind of ties in like the vulnerability
Mhm.
um, aspect of it because sometimes writing about your experiences that you go through sometimes can be really hard.
Yeah.
So, how what advice could you give people to navigate through that?
Writing about, well, being vulnerable means that you're open.
Yeah.
And the more open you are, the more vulnerable you are, the better that character is going to be.
Mhm.
And sometimes, like, we'll write about ourselves and we will only like want to put the good parts or want
Mhm.
to put the polished parts.
Mhm.
And I'll say to anybody that's struggling in that area of writing about themselves and being vulnerable, tell it all. Tell
Mhm.
how nasty you are.
Yeah.
Tell them when you was being a bitch. Tell
Yeah.
them what you was doing, whatever you was doing. Tell the entire story. In that way, you're looking at yourself from number one, an objective perspective. And then two, you're looking at yourself as a human. And then three, while you're writing, it's therapeutic and healing for you as well, because you're able to say, man, I really did do some jacked up stuff. And
Mhm.
now that I can admit that I've done some jacked up stuff, I've written this story and I've written it in such a way to where now it's all out. I've
Mhm.
released it and I can let go and move on.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if we're not vulnerable to tell all of the parts, we're still holding something in there. So
Yes.
get that shit out. Get it,
Yes.
move on.
Yes. Let all of that go. And then just putting that into your own art, because I've talked with this person before, and they were telling me um, sometimes it's not a good thing to write about your experiences. Um, I would say this: it's not good to write about it if you are not understanding the lesson after it, right? So I feel like write something for yourself, but also when you're done writing, also sit back and take a look at all the things that you've learned from
Yeah,
it, because that is what can be the most impactful thing.
yeah,
And that could be the most healing and fulfilling thing for yourself.
yeah.
Um,
And be prepared for
yes,
what people are going to say,
yes,
and be prepared for people to drag you,
yeah,
and also be prepared to not care.
yes,
Like, oh, I don't give a
absolutely.
shit.
Because in reality, everything that everybody is going through, there's always somebody else that's going through that same thing as well.
Yeah,
So don't ever feel like you are alone, because you are not.
never.
Are
And
not.
I tell you, it's enough invisible things around here the way we're never alone. They're
Yeah,
always, it's something always around.
yeah,
Trust.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So, um, was there ever a time to where you have doubted yourself and you felt like walking away from your gifts?
Every day. I
Mhm.
think every day walking, number one, walking the path of an entrepreneur by
Yeah,
itself is enough to make you give up every day, because it's very hard,
yeah.
especially when you don't have a large network. I'm very introverted,
Mhm.
so I know a lot of people, but not a lot of people know me.
Yes.
And it's every day is like, if I'm not making a sale, or if I'm not reaching a goal, or putting a book out, um, it takes a hit on your self-worth after a
Yeah.
while. Like, you look at yourself like, am I not worthy enough? Am I not valuable enough? Or what
Mhm.
am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I look at myself and I'm like, dang, this must not be for me,
Yeah.
right? Every single day I have to get up, and you can't see this, but I have a list of affirmations and stuff here. But
Mhm.
every day I have to get up and condition my mind to say, you can do it. You
Yeah.
will do it. In the future, you've done it. And right now, you're just in the process of figuring out, how did you actually do it? You did it.
Mhm.
Now we're just figuring out, how did we get there?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
once you kind of understand and know that you're co-creating your destiny, and you're
Yes.
co-creating somewhere around your ending point, as far as,
Yes.
especially when it comes to career, like, I know I want to end up here. When you know that, it's
Mhm.
like, it's no other option.
Yeah.
You don't give life an option to say, I can't have this. The only thing is getting up every day and convincing yourself that you can do it, talking yourself out of doubt,
Yeah.
talking yourself out of low self-worth, talking yourself out of low self-esteem, and just having enough grace and patience with yourself to get it done. And then also understanding that part of it ain't you, it's the government.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Part
Yes.
of it ain't you, it's society.
Golly.
It's the society.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like David and Goliath. I was talking to a friend the other day,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about, systematic oppression and how things are set up in the US,
Yeah.
and the path that I'm taking. And I was like, well, I guess I'm David, and I got
Mhm.
my rock and a slingshot. Let's call my business the rock, and let's call the creative stuff the slingshot. And I'm
Yes.
gonna pop that bitch back
I know
and
that's
take
right. Yes.
Goliath if I
Yes.
have to. And so again, although I do give up every day,
Mhm.
particularly when it's times when my body is not acting right. Like, if I'm feeling sick,
Mhm.
or just a few years ago, I was homeless. I had to sleep in my car.
Mhm.
And that was a time that I wanted to give up, but I went harder during that time. During really, really, really challenging times, it's a little harder to push through.
Mhm.
Um, so, so yeah, every day, every day to answer the question.
Just how do you, because going through that experience of being homeless and wanting to push harder, anybody who has went or who was going through that experience or who has went through that experience or they just never know, how was that, how did you push along even through that? Like what strength did you have?
um, Part of it was just like I just really believe in myself.
Mm.
I really think I can do it.
Yeah.
I do not think that all of the things that I went through was just to say, oh, well, you just had to go through that. I
Yeah.
really felt like that was preparation and training for what's to come.
Yeah.
And then I started to look at other people's stories and people who I felt made it success wise. I started to look at their stories and I'm like, all of them been through some shit. I mean, some deep, dark doo-doo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they kept going. And what kept them going? Steve Harvey, for example, was homeless. And I'm like, what kept him going was the fact that he knew he was Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I'm Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is not Bill Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And if you know who you are, and if you know, you got to know who you are, knowing who I am, like, oh, you are Teresa Oliver. And
Yeah.
Teresa Oliver has a certain destiny, a certain calling, certain talent, certain abilities.
Mhm.
And I owe it to myself to honor myself. And
Yeah.
so it took a deeper level of faith that
Mhm.
I've never had before in my life. It
Mhm.
took a deeper level of trust on
Yeah.
the Most High. Like when I say trust like no other.
Mhm.
And then a really, really deep belief in myself. And I'm no fool.
Yeah.
While I'm doing this and living it, so let me say, I quit the job in 2021, was homeless in 2022.
Mhm.
Okay, it should have stayed at that job. But anyway, so and it wasn't right into homelessness. I had some bumps and bruises along the way.
Mhm.
Um, I forgot what I was going to say. You left me that fast. Let me bring that thing back. Okay, so I don't know what I was gonna say. Either way,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, even through like the bumps and the bruises and going into homelessness, that's what I was gonna say. I'm
Mhm.
no fool. And so while I'm doing things, like while I'm writing books and publishing books, and this book was getting ready to come out, I'm still seeing clients. I begin to ask them, I'm like, okay, I need y'all to tell me the truth. Like, is this really good? Because if it's not good, then I do need to go and get me a job. Are you really getting something out of our sessions? If you're not, I need to go and get me a job. And then I started looking at my past progress. I started to say, okay, what did you actually accomplish in the past so that you can operate in this delusion that you're in now? Because I was in complete delusion, but I started to look at like, well, you did do this, you did do that, you did get a degree. I had one child that I was working with, can't say too much, but this child had OCD. And
Mhm.
his parents wanted to do strictly natural. They just wanted talk therapy. And when
Mhm.
I tell you, I talked to this child, it's like 13 or 14 years old. I
Mhm.
talked to this child every Tuesday, probably for about a year or so. And it was just talk therapy. By the time we got to the end of that talk therapy,
Mhm.
all of his symptoms of OCD was gone.
Wow.
I mean, when I say, and I'm not making it up, not fabricating, you can ask his
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
But literally they were gone. And so looking at things like that helped me to understand like, oh, you are really good at it. And so just because you're in a tough pocket,
Yeah.
it does not mean that it's going to be like this forever. And then again with this one, I did 3 focus groups, 3 intentionally, because I'm like, I need to know, like, if I'm not a good writer, then I need to know this now, not when I'm in my 60s. Like, tell
Yeah.
me now. And across the board, I got like, no, this is a really good body of work and you need to keep going.
Wow.
Even in the focus groups, grown men were crying.
Wow. That's
Black ass men. Okay. You can't really fake, you can't fake tears. And so
yeah.
I'm looking and I'm looking at everybody's face, I'm looking at their emotions, and I'm like, oh no, this is good. And so that helped me to stay in the mud and push through the mud. And now I just a couple of weeks ago signed a contract for a little over $6,000 for just a few weeks.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
know it's like
like, and
congratulations.
not
Yes.
I ain't rolling in the dough. Let me tell
Yeah.
you that. But
Yeah.
it's been a steady increase. And so anybody watching this and you find yourself in a situation and you're on rock bottom, congratulate yourself, because the only way you can go from there is that way.
Yes. Yes. You
Pat
can't go
yourself on the
nowhere.
back. Like, I made it.
Yes.
To the bottom.
Yes. So talking about knowing yourself, oh my God. Cause oh Lord. I every day after school when I was in college, I would literally go out and I would have posters that I would make of like the next projects that I would do, right? So I would go outside and I would literally just go to like different schools and I would try to pass them out. And I remember this one day I went to Kennesaw State and
Mm-hmm.
I sat there in front of the lunchroom. And when I tell you nobody was paying attention to me, like I'm talking about, you had people that were just straight up ignoring me, acting like I was non existent, going up to them, talking to them, like walking the other way. Like, and I just remember it was raining and I literally went in my car and I cried. And I was like, I can't do this. But it was like a unique presence and it was like this pressure and it was like God showing me who I was actually going to become. He was showing me my future me. And when I looked at my future me, I was like, damn, you are powerful. Like this is really you. And I'm just like, but how is this you and I'm here now? And I don't know, it was just I just had to realize like this is your stepping stone of who you're gonna become. So
Yeah.
don't ever shy yourself away from people. Always own the bigness of you. Because that bigness of you is always it's going to blossom and it's going to encourage people, it's going to inspire people, it's going to inspire you, your work, everything that you do. So I think just taking a chance on yourself, it also shows you who you are, it shows you how valuable you are, and now you can be able to show it for anything
Yeah.
by just being yourself.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times artists, especially artists who've gone through a spiritual awakening,
Mhm.
because not everybody is allowed to go through that awakening, to go into higher consciousness. And so those who have to go that path, by either they signed up for it or they was forced into it,
Mhm.
um, the value, knowing your worth and knowing your value, is such a heavy part of that path. And if you don't understand it and if you don't get it, it's like your life will continue to loop until you understand, like, no, this is a part of this path and you have to know you are valuable. You have to know that you are worthy, because you are headed somewhere and you're gonna be tried. You're
Yes.
gonna People gonna try you. I won't say no names, but I had a
Mhm.
production deal where I was in this competition out of
Yeah.
like almost 30 people, and I won the production deal. But when I got the contract, it was no value in it for me. When
Wow.
I say literally no value, it was basically like, well, you could probably get some money in 20 years. It's basically
Oh, wow. Oh, hell.
what the contract was saying in a
Yeah.
nutshell. And I think that if I didn't go through my process of being in isolation, and even in isolation, I had 5+ years of celibacy where
Mhm.
I wasn't, nobody's touching me or nothing. I really learned the value of my body and my time and my gifts. But had I not gone through that, being hungry for money or being hungry to get my gift out or even hungry for attention, I would have took that deal and would have been so pissed off. Like, damn, y'all eating, y'all
Yeah.
have the non-starving artist
Yeah.
competition, but y'all really starving us out here.
Exactly that part. too hard.
Yes.
And then, you know, oh Lord, in this industry, it is so hard. The hardest thing is you staying true to yourself,
Yeah.
walking in your purpose, and doing things within your purpose, and while then also having people using you.
Yeah.
That's the hardest
That's
part.
the hard part.
So it's like how how can you know if somebody is really truly there because of the vision versus somebody who is just using you as a benefit? And how do you
Well,
move away from that?
to know, number one, the person is going to be just as excited about the work as you are. They're
Mhm,
going to be ready to go in 10 toes down. It's
mhm,
not going to be any parameters around resources. It's going to be like, hey, I believe in this, so I'm going to just give you this.
yeah,
I'll get my money on the back end, or we'll set up a payment or something like that.
mhm,
Also, if it is an agreement, a written agreement, a contract up front, it will be fair, a
yeah,
very fair contract. If
yes,
you do not have an attorney, get one and keep your attorney on deck. Like,
yes,
make sure that you, and if you don't have an attorney, pay your $20 for Chat GPT.
yes, yeah,
Put your contract into Chat GPT because
mhm,
Chat will tell you.
yes,
Walking away from it, it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy.
mhm,
Um, for me, I had a lot of doubt. I was
mhm,
like, well, dang, this is your first deal. Then it was in front of all of these people who saw it. And am I choosing the right thing? Bless you, bless you.
thank you, thank
I'm
you.
like, am I choosing the right thing?
Mhm,
Is this just a part of the game? And it was a bit of a psychological battle for a minute.
yeah.
But when you detach yourself from the outcome, I was looking at the outcome. I had to detach myself. Uh-oh, there you go.
Oh, it's this pollen child.
It's all
It's
right.
everywhere.
So when I detached myself from the outcome and what I thought it should be and looked at the journey and looked at the test in the journey, I saw self-worth. I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with the actual project.
Yeah.
This is a test of self-worth. And I wanted to pass my test. And so that made the decision very easy. I was like, oh no. Um, what made it harder was thinking about how much patience I would have to put out my project, not having their equipment and not having the people that they know and their resources.
Mhm.
That shit was hard. But I'm like,
Yeah.
Reese, patience. If you can't get it out for another year, then
Mhm.
don't get it out for a year.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because I've had those moments too, child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the hardest part is I don't know. Like you said, like the hardest part is like, okay, this person was a huge benefit, but now I have to find another way to benefit myself, which is not a bad thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just a beautiful thing. It's all about your self worth. Uh,
Yeah.
you knowing what your purpose is and saying, okay, this is not right for me. I'm gonna go to something else. I don't give a damn about what this other person got to say. I don't give
Mm-hmm.
it's about if they mad or upset. I'm gone. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Yes.
And sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just have to be respectful and just not say anything else and just let it
Yeah.
go.
And I went back, like after the whole deal thing went sour, I went back to because they have monthly events. I
Mhm.
went back to show my support. Number one, I feel like, especially in Black community, it's
Yeah,
so much division. It's
yeah,
so much division.
so much.
And you'll see in like Jewish cultures, even in Indian cultures, like around me, I live, it's a lot of like Indian Americans or whatever, they're
Mhm,
always clicked up. And when they fall out, when it comes to money, they
mhm,
stay together.
mhm.
And I was like, it would be so cliche of me to talk all this Black stuff and how we need to stay together. And the first time, it's a ripple, I walk away. So
Yeah,
I said, no, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna continue to support them. I like the organization. I can't do business with them per
yeah,
se, but
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna, I'm not gonna be the person that's gonna continue the divide. I'm gonna forgive, I'm gonna support, and I'm gonna move forward, knowing that
yeah,
I can still put my stuff out in divine timing.
Yes, absolutely. That is so important. Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes. Um, so what do you want people to know about you that they don't know about you?
Ooh, well, I want them to know. That's a great question that they don't know.
Mhm.
First and foremost, I don't like none of the spiritual shit. I want to say that up
Yeah.
front. I want everybody to know I don't like it. I don't like the mental health stuff. I just so happen to do it and I'm good at it, but I don't like it. I prefer and I would love to be known as an infamous writer, a writer of all things. That's
Yes.
first and foremost. Second, um, um, maybe I think that's probably the only thing other than like I am very introverted. A lot of people see me and I have like a cold exterior at times. I think people think, but I'm really not cold. I can be. I'm a Capricorn. So, Capricorn, we alive. We are Lord, honey.
Mhm.
So, but my moon is in Gemini and my
Mhm.
rising is Scorpio. So I got some balance there. There's a little bit of balance.
Yeah.
Um but that's really it. I am approachable. Um, and I care deeply about humans, the human collective,
Yeah.
not just one particular race or one. I care deeply about Earth and all of Earth sentient beings. I care about the nets, the earthworms, the trees, the possums. Like I
Mhm.
care deeply about everything. And sometimes because I care so much, I do have to cut myself off or I do have to be aloof or distant. And
Mhm.
it's only because I'm protecting myself. But I'm definitely not. I was gonna say I'm not funny acting, but I am funny.
I definitely be saying people be thinking I be shy. I'm not shy. I'm not shy. I just don't feel like talking right now.
Yeah, I'm protecting myself from y'all motherfuckers. who ain't woke up
Yeah.
yet?
Yes.
What's your
So,
sign? What are you?
oh, my sign is I'm a Virgo.
But I love Virgo. My baby
Yes.
daddy a Virgo. He got my fucking nerves.
Yes. I'm an overthinker though, but yeah.
hmm
But sometimes that's a good thing. But
hmm
um, oh my God, I literally have one more question.
Take your time. Take your time.
Um, for people who are, I guess, itching to tell their story, right? And they're doing all of these things and they're creating work and they feel like their story is never going to be told. What advice do you have for them?
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to tell your story, tell it and tell it any way or a million ways. Any way, simplest way, pulling out your phone talking. You can transcribe into your notes using your voice and it'll type it all the way out. You
Yeah.
can talk into Chat GPT. You can make a video like the beautiful art you have behind you. You can paint a
Yes.
picture or a mural and tell your story. You can get a sketch pad. You can do a dance and tell your story.
Yes.
Just do it.
Yes.
Like just do it. Don't overthink it. Don't second guess it. Don't worry about what other people are gonna think about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about who gonna watch it and who gonna do. You doing it for you,
I know that's right. Yes. Yes.
and that's it. And trust most people who are very well known artists in any respect of art really don't get their claim to fame until they're passed away.
That,
So understand that your
yeah.
art is a legacy. So what you do now may not be relevant 200 years from now, but it will be relevant eventually. So
Yes.
just do your thing.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, y'all, that wraps it up, y'all. This has been an amazing, 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 amazing podcast, y'all.
Yes.
Tell them where they can follow you at.
Oh Lord.
Or where they
Child.
can find the book at.
Okay. So this book is
Mm,
on Spotify, The Adventures of what is it? Seiki and TT at the Golden River. It's on all major music platforms. I put it on music platforms because it has a lot of sound. It has a lot of music with it. So it's on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, Apple, Amazon Music, all of those places. My Instagram, child. It's Teresa, Teresa underscore R dot underscore Oliver. So TR Oliver with 2 underscores in between. And I don't know the name of my other ones. I have a YouTube and I have TikTok, but I don't know. I forget the names.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
But
they
so
out
that's
there.
all right. So they'll find you.
Yeah.
But it has been awesome, you guys, again.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And just to continue to support, I want to be able to keep this thing going. I want people to share their stories, to share their journeys, to share their wisdom. And always remember, whatever you're going through, somebody is going through the same thing. Whatever
Yes.
journey that you're walking in, trust me, this is a place to where you can find those people that have walked the same journey as you. And you
That's
can be
right.
able to get insight, advice, and just continue on with your journey.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Bye.
All right. See y'all. Trust the process.
Yes.